Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in today. One thing I still keep seeing so much, and it's gonna end up hurting you because you're not going to realize it, and that is the overuse of the word narcissist. And everybody feels like they are a narcissistic expert. And so I'm describing men. I'm describing men. What you have to realize is I coach relationships every day. And so I'm hearing a million stories. I got an inbox full of thousands of relationship stories. And I'm coaching relationships every day. I was a womanizer. I'm married myself. So what I'm describing to you in my videos is everyday situations. Now, you may not have had a relationship before. Maybe you haven't had a real relationship, meaning like a relationship that lasted more than a year. Maybe you've only had one or two or three relationships that were more than a year. Maybe that could be the case. But what I'm telling you is that what I'm describing is when I describe a man on these videos, I'm describing your brother. You've just never dated him. I'm describing your brother. I'm describing your father. I'm describing your school teacher. I'm describing your next door neighbor. But see, what you're hearing is you're hearing it articulated in a way that you've never heard it articulated. So when you hear me articulate the silent treatment, and when you hear me articulate, I did a video, a man and his silent treatment. YouTube did something with that video, like they pushed it to more people. I ain't never seen that many men in my comments. These men don't subscribe to my channel. I saw so many men in my comments, and they were defensive. They were upset. Go back to the video. Now, some of them got deleted and blocked if they said something crazy, but you still may see some of them in there. Oh, they were defensive. Or maybe he did it because of this. Or maybe he did it because of this. Well, this is legitimate. Or everybody does silent treatment. I mean, the men got defensive. You know why? Because a lot of women calling that a narcissist, and every single man does it. So this is the thing. Somewhere along the line, it had to be somebody with a following who started using the term narcissist. And from there, it spread and it went mainstream. So now everybody is looking for closure in their relationships, and they're Googling, and this word has become very mainstream. And it's kind of like when you're looking for symptoms, you're gonna find an answer. When you will go, your eye be itching. And it's because of the pollen, or it's because of the dust. You ain't changed your vents in your house. It's the dust. You will go online, why is my eye itching? And you'll find 8 articles that say if your eye is itching, that is a sign of premature cancer and your eyeball is about to burst and fall out in flames. And you'll be, oh my God, Mom, I just want to tell you that I love you. I miss you. You know, I have the itchy eye and I've been reading online. And that's the same thing that's happening in a lot of cases with this here narcissism. Narcissism is a very real thing. It's a very real thing. It takes a clinical diagnosis. So either you take all the symptoms to the doctor and tell the doctor about what this person was doing, and the doctor says, yes, that is narcissistic personality disorder, or that is a form of narcissism. They give you a clinical diagnosis. Or they see the person themselves. Now, as you know, that type of person not going to the doctor to get diagnosed. But what I'm telling you is, what I'm describing on my videos is not narcissism. It may be some of the traits, it may be a form of it, but I'm not a doctor. So I don't know nothing about narcissism. I have not studied narcissism like that to be teaching on it. What I'm describing to you is everyday men. It's everyday men. I'm describing to you your next door neighbor. I'm just articulating and spelling it out in a way that it makes you feel it. See, you probably went through the same thing, but didn't even realize it was a silent treatment. Didn't even realize he was doing the Jedi mind trick. Didn't even realize what he was doing because you have told yourself, oh, I'll never deal with that. I'll never put up with that. But you went through the same thing, but when you in it, you can't see it the same. When you're looking at somebody else's situation, you can see all their problems. You see everything they're going through. So what I need you to understand is although there may be some similarities, I'm describing everyday men. So unless every man, 9 out of 10 men is a narcissist, then unless that's the case, we're not talking about the same thing. What you have to understand is that what a lot of y'all trying to put the labels on, it's a serious disorder. Okay? I'm talking about everyday tactics in relationships that is happening in 9 out of 10 relationships. So, and that disorder is just not that common. It's just not that common. If it was that common, it'd be all over your news. It's just not that common. So I want you to understand that yes, it's out there. And yes, it may be millions of people that have the disorder. But we got billions of people in the world. So when I'm describing something, and the reason why I say it'll hurt you is because you will be with a man and he'll be doing the things that I'm telling you. But because narcissism is so serious, you won't take what he's doing serious. Because you'll say, oh, well, he can't be a narcissist because I'm immune. I'm immune to narcissism. I'm allergic to narcissism. I would be throwing up every day if he was a narcissist. There's no way in the world, with all of my education and everything I've been through, there's no way in the world I would ever sleep with a narcissist. And so you'll be brushing what he's doing under the rug because you've associated what I'm teaching you with this one diagnosis. And this how I know it's overused because I'm reading my comments. And when I see people go on full-on rants about regurgitating the knowledge they done got from Google about narcissism in the comments, like they're an expert on it, like they're a doctor on it, it just let me know it's finna be a whole lot of tomfoolery going on. Grown boys finna be knocking you across the head. Grown boys finna be doing all they want to do because you expecting to see a man come up to you and hand you a card. Yes, this is my narcissist personality disorder card. You got it in 2007 when I was diagnosed. So here, hold on to this card. It just lets you know what I deal with as an MPD, dependent person, and this lets you know what I'm going through. And that's what you waiting on. That's what you waiting on. And so everything else that's happening in your relationship, you'll be brushing off as, oh, that's just a relationship. Oh, that's just men. Oh, that's just how they are. Oh, that's just what you got to go through. No. Listen. What I'm telling you about is grown boys. I'm telling you, this everyday man, this nearly every man you meet. Stop trying to diagnose everything. I know you want closure in your mind, and see, that's the issue. Is we want closure in our mind. We want closure in our mind, and that's why I'm gonna have to turn the comments off, because people want to believe what they want to believe so bad. So it's like, if this is not narcissism, I don't know what it is. What you are describing is narcissism. You do not understand how serious this is. People are dying. I do this every day. I know women that done died. And what I'm trying to tell you is, ain't no diagnosis on that man, because that is men. That's just men. That's every man. Every man have these same games that I'm telling you about. The same game that I'm telling you about. Look at the way I treat my wife. I never went to therapy. My wife lived like a queen. I've never went to therapy. I've never had life coaching. I read the Holy Bible. I went through life coaching with my daddy for a few sessions. My wife lived like a queen. She treated amazingly. And guess what? You know how I articulate these games the way I do? Because I done played them all. What I'm trying to tell you is, this is just men. This is just men. What I'm talking about on this channel, this not no doctor channel. I'm not talking about disorders. Ain't talking about diagnosis. I'm telling you about men. 9.9 out of 10 men. Understand that right there. We're not talking about narcissistic personality disorder. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the man you finna meet at the grocery store. Then the man you gonna meet at the gas station. Then the man you gonna meet at Starbucks. Then the man you finna meet at church. The pastor who's single. The school teacher who's single. The police officer who's single. The firefighter who's single. That's what I'm telling you about. Every game I'm telling you about, this is what you finna go through. Until a man matures as a man. He wasn't with MPD and then just woke up one morning healed. Oh, healed. Oh. All right, I'll be breaking this card in half. Woke up. Oh, feeling fresh today. No more MPD for me. No, that's not how it works. This is the maturity continuum of a man. It is the maturity scale of a man that all of these selfish and toxic behaviors are exhibited by nearly every single man as he is maturing and growing and learning what it is to be a man, a protector, a provider, head of the household, a husband, and a pure lover. Everything that you watch on these videos, that's what every single man gonna do. Now, if you've never had a relationship, then you would not know that. If you've never been in a real relationship, I'm not talking about puppy love in high school, in elementary, and middle school, and college. I'm talking about as a grown adult. But the man that you talking about, he may or may not have the disorder, but 9 out of 10 times he does not have that disorder, because this is men, unless that disorder is just so common, and it's not that common. Because if it was that common, they wouldn't even give it a name. If 9 out of 10 men got it, they wouldn't even worry about it. That's just men. That's just men. They came up with this name of this disorder because it is a deviation of the human experience. It is a disorder, meaning it is out of order. And there is a strand of people who have the disorder. So that's why a label was put on it. What I'm telling you about on this channel, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Tom, Dick, and Harry. All right? Every man you gonna meet. That's what I'm preparing you for. I'm not preparing you for a narcissist. I'm not preparing you for that. Now, some of this stuff may work on them, but that's not the lane that I'm talking about. And so people talking about what Tony is describing is, no, I'm not. That's not what I'm describing. That's what you have interpreted based on your Google research, based on your life experiences with the men that you have dated that were toxic and abusive. But that does not mean your diagnosis is correct. And just because you went through that with a man and then you got on Google to get closure, or you went to a therapist and the therapist told you that, but you just gave the therapist your side of the story, so you spelling it out. So the therapist said, okay, I see you really need this closure. Okay, so Are you ready for this? Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1. Your ex is a narcissist. You like that? You like this? Do you feel better? Fist bump. Air fist. Keep your mask on. Keep your mask on. Doesn't it feel better? You felt the release, didn't you? You needed that, didn't you? We need closure as humans. Listen, girlfriend, he was a narcissist. I'll see you next Thursday. Have a blessed, amazing day. You see what I'm saying? That's what the human mind, that's what y'all searching for. You searching for a ribbon and a bow. You need a box and you need a ribbon because you want to give your mind closure. But truth be told, with a lot of these diagnoses, we don't know what we talking about. You labeling people NBD. No. That's an everyday person. That's an everyday person born into sin. Born into sin, cast into a world of trial and tribulation, trying to adapt so that they don't get devoured. And all them labels and all of that, that's what's going to hinder you because you looking for a label. And what you don't realize is subconsciously you really almost need that person to admit to having the disorder you want them to have if they are exhibiting certain behaviors. But if they don't say they have it, if your therapist, your coach, your doctor, not your coach because we don't deal on that, your doctor, your therapist, counselor does not say they have it, then you say, oh, well, all right, well, at least I'm not with a narcissist, so I guess I could just stay. I guess I, just be here. Oh my goodness. You know what? Well, at least you're not a narcissist. So this is just relationships. And so you stuck in a relationship because you waiting on a term. You waiting on a label. You waiting on a diagnosis. No, you need to leave. No, you need to leave. What I'm telling you about is not this fringe diagnosis that you done read about on Google. That's not what I'm telling you about. Remember when I'm telling you about your brother. I'm telling you about your daddy. I'm telling you about your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend, your husband, your everyday man. You know why? Because I'm an everyday man. And I was an everyday man. And this the game that I played. Guess what? This the game that every man I know played. That diagnosis, what you trying to give, what you swear. You swear you're an expert on it. You swear you're an expert on it. You know why you swear you're an expert on it? Because you was hurt. Because you went through something that was just so toxic and so traumatizing. Because you came close to taking your life or losing your life. You need something to say, let me wrap this up in a box. This is what it was. This is what it's called. Yeah, oh my goodness. That describes him perfectly. Guess what? The next man you meet finna have the same issues. The same issues. And let me tell you something. These people that I'm describing on this channel, they're not, these men and these women, they're not healed by a doctor. They ain't healed by a doctor. They heal by meeting another human who knows their worth and has standards for their life and refuses to settle. That's how they heal. Look, do you see this here? A woman's influence is this woman who influenced me to change. People say, how you change? I met a woman who wouldn't put up with the games. So I said, I don't want to be alone with Angela scroking every night. I want a wife. I want to feel the feminine essence. I want to be able to smell them chemicals coming out of a woman's neck. I want to be able to love on me something. I want to have children and raise my children in the home and have my masculine energy, but also let them have feminine energy in the home and to see the balance between the masculine and the feminine. That's what I want. So if I want that, and I don't want to be devoured by my ego, I don't want to be frustrated because this woman lets me do any and everything and has no backbone whatsoever, that is boring. That's not fun because I'm not growing. I want a woman who knows her worth. Who knows her worth. And if she know her worth, guess what? Her knowing her gonna help me know me. That's gonna make me a better man. So the man that I'm describing on my channel, this everyday man. This what every man you meet gonna do. He gonna give you a silent treatment. He gonna try to come in and out your life. He gonna test you. It's not just narcissists that's giving silent treatments. It's not just narcissists that's testing you. It's not just narcissists that's cheating on you. Listen, I'm glad that you found you a term that you just love and that you studying, and it's just so many definitions to it and just so many variations, and you read so much, you studied so much, your comprehension skills so good. Oh, you feel like you understand that thing inside and out. You ready to be a doctor. You done slipped up 2 or 3 times and put MD behind your name. You done put CSW, LPW, LCW. You done slipped up and gave yourself credentials you ain't got because you done spent so much time studying it, watching Dr. Such and Such, watching Dr. Sensualization, who sensationalizing this here term to get that ad revenue. Sitting on YouTube to get that ad revenue. That's what they on there for. They sensationalize this term. And let me tell you what this is. See, it's a hierarchy. So we live in a society that praises going through a man-made construct, which is school. Learning how to take a test and how to pass a test. When you take a test and you pass a test, it's really a robotic thing. So now you're able to put letters behind your name. And we praise that. If you come from poverty, you might not be able to get that because financial aid may not pay for all your tuition. Student loans, you may not qualify for all of them. You may not know anything about it. You maybe had to drop out of school at 14. So it's a certain group, and it's changing. It's diverse now. It's a little more diversity. Less than 4% of mental health professionals are African American. Less than 4%. Less than 4%. So it's a certain type of people that been set up because they didn't come from slavery and segregation and all of this to get these titles. And they get these titles, and then now they become the Holy Grail. That's how you look at them. Everything they say is like manna from heaven for you. Ooh, you're a doctor. Tell me more. Tell me more. Oh, tell me more. Tell me more. I'm all ears. You're a doctor? Okay, I'm all ears. Where'd you graduate from? Kellogg's University? On aisle 6? In Ralph's? Trader Joe's? Oh, I'm not worried about it. I love Kellogg's University. General Mills University? I love it. You're a doctor. Tell me more. Tell me more. So now, because somebody got a title, they all of a sudden know what they talking about. That's the world we live in. So now they sit there and see, this is the thing. It's a syndrome. All right. And what I'm going to call this is, because since we love terminology, I'm going to call this the pedestal syndrome. The pedestal syndrome is when somebody, only got 10% left on my battery. When somebody sits high because they got accolades and titles and degrees, and they sit high and they talk low. They talk down to you. And so because they have schooling that you don't have, you feel like they know what they're talking about. So when they give you a term, you accept it. You accept it and you believe it, and it becomes all encompassing in your life just because they said it. And then anybody who who didn't care to go to school, who didn't want to take them tests, who didn't feel like that defines them, who didn't feel like they need that, you disregard those people, even if they lived it, because they don't have those letters with their name. When that doesn't make a person any wiser or any more knowledgeable. That don't make a person right. It's a man sitting under a shade tree that ain't sniffed the school, that could read you top to bottom, could tell you all about your life, could fix you just like that for free under the shade tree. But because he ain't Dr. Such and Such, you don't want to hear what he got to say. You want to go listen to Dr. Such and Such, and you don't even know if Dr. Such and Such is a real doctor. You ain't go to school with him. You ain't graduate with him. You don't know if that's a real doctor. And then on the other part of it, you don't know if they know what they talking about. They just could have great test taking skills. Somebody else could have taken the test. You don't know. I know people who got doctor in their name, ain't got now job. Ain't got now job. You hear me? So listen to what I'm telling you. It's this pedestal syndrome, which I just made that up today. Pedestal syndrome. Where somebody, you put them on a pedestal because they got more accolades than you, and you believe everything they say. So now you take this as gospel, and now you can't see outside of this. So now every single person, and because you need this closure, because your mind need to be able to wrap itself around. The human mind want to wrap itself around everything and understand it completely. And that's why so many people don't have faith, because faith takes you believing in something that you don't see, something that you may not fully understand. That's faith. And a lot of people suffer in their life and can't reach their goals because they don't know how to walk by faith. A man sat down with me, and he showed me what kind of doctor he was going to be. It started with an O. It was like osteopathic or something. And the salary was like $495,000 a year. I didn't graduate college. And I looked at that, and we was at an event. We was at a camp. I said, wow, I made that in my 20s. So wow. Living a different type of purpose. But for him, that was going to define him. I'm not defined by labels. I'm not defined by degrees. I'm defined by wisdom from God. So what I'm here to tell you, stop trying to diagnose everything, because that's how you're going to end up getting hurt. Because because you're not going to believe that you with somebody with the diagnosis, or you're going to think somebody has that diagnosis and they don't have that diagnosis. So now every person you meet who exhibits a similar behavior, you diagnosing them. So now when your son turned 18 and he does that to his girlfriend, silent treatment, cheat on her, oh my goodness. Little Johnny, you are a narcissist. How? Oh my God, I did everything I could. I put you in private school. Oh my God, I put you in private school. I sent you to a camp every summer. How did you become a narcissist? Oh my goodness. Oh my God. You're a narcissist. Why? Because you want to believe so bad. Because you done got on Google and you done wrapped the closure in your mind. Hey, baby, I'm ready for my food. Now my phone about to die. My wife done caught me in here in my YouTube routine. She don't want to see this side of me, because this work for the Lord. I don't have to do this with my wife because she already know what she need to know. You know what I'm saying? We already married. Everything happens. So I don't have to talk to her about this because she ain't dating nobody. I give you this game because you in the dating scene, or you might be married and still working on your marriage. So y'all about done with me. Hey, I'm gonna eat out there at the table. I'm coming in 2 minutes. My phone about to die. I got to go. So see, now because you so hooked on a diagnosis, now you done diagnose your son. When he just going through the maturity continuum. He just growing as a young man, learning himself, learning the ways of the world, learning how to be a man, learning how to treat one. He's not a narcissist just because he gave a silent treatment. Just because he broke up with her 3 times and they got back together, that don't mean he a narcissist. You see what I'm saying? What I'm describing is everyday men. I'm not describing narcissist. So stop throwing that term around. Go to the video, to the channel that's what they talking about. I'm telling you about your neighbor. Don't keep throwing that around on my page, because we're not dealing in diagnosis and labels. We're dealing in real life here, because them labels gonna trap you. It's gonna trip you. It's gonna set you up. It's gonna mislead you. You got to see with your eyes and stop just trying to think like a brainiac who could read and comprehend and decode and feeling like you a doctor because you done studied something and read a bunch of blogs. So now you think you're an expert on it. No, listen. That's gonna set you up for failure. Look at a man for what he is. Don't worry about a label. See what he shows you, and you believe what he shows you. Like y'all say, Maya Angelou said, and then you go from there. You adapt and you adjust from there, because the same people that you labeling and putting these terms could become a loving, faithful, good husband if you just realize that it's not about throwing a label and taking off. It's about you knowing the game, you knowing yourself, having self-worth, having standards, so you know how to shut it down. You know how to speak to it. And then what you're going to realize is you don't have a narcissist. You got a man who is able and willing and ready to change, but did not know any better until he met you. Hey, I'm going to have to finish this up, this 30 minutes. I got to go. My phone about to die, though. And I got to coach in a little bit. White just brought me some lunch, so I got to get going. Hey, God bless y'all, and we'll talk soon.